College, a time of new beginnings, late-night cram sessions, and the allure of freedom. Little did I know that the seemingly innocent halls of academia held secrets darker than any textbook could reveal. It all started with a dare, a foolish challenge that led me down a labyrinth of terror, forever altering the course of my college experience. It was a stormy night, the rain pelting against the windows of our dormitory. A group of ooze, restless and seeking a thrill, gathered in the dimly lit common room. Laughter and the hum of conversation filled the air as we traded stories of the supernatural, each tale more chilling than the last. As the night wore on, the conversation took a daring turn. Someone mentioned the abandoned wing of the college, a forgotten part of the campus that had been sealed off for decades. Legends whispered of unexplained phenomena, strange noises, and the eerie sensation of being watched. Amidst the nervous laughter, a challenge emerged. We dared each other to spend the night in the abandoned wing, a rite of passage that promised both bragging rights and a spine-tingling story to tell. Fueled by the bravado of youth, I accepted the challenge without a second thought. The abandoned wing loomed before us, a relic of the past engulfed in darkness. As we crossed the threshold, an oppressive stillness settled over the air, and the laughter that had accompanied us faded into an uneasy silence. The flickering light from our flashlights cast elongated shadows that danced on the decaying walls. My steps echoed through the desolate corridor as I ventured deeper into the heart of the abandoned wing. The air grew colder, and a sense of foreboding settled in the pit of my stomach. I could hear faint whispers, unintelligible murmurs that seemed to emanate from the very walls. As I reached the end of the corridor, I discovered a door ajar. Cautiously, I pushed it open, revealing a room frozen in time. Dust-covered furniture lay dormant, as if untouched by the passage of decades. A layer of cobwebs clung to the corners, and the air was thick with an otherworldly energy. In the dim glow of my flashlight, I noticed an old-fashioned mirror that seemed out of place. Its ornate frame contrasted with the dilapidated surroundings. Curiosity got the better of me, and I approached the mirror, peering into its depths. To my horror, the reflection that stared back was not my own. A ghastly figure, with hollow eyes and a twisted grin, stood in the room behind me. My heart pounded in my chest as I stumbled backward, but the figure remained in the mirror, its malevolence seeping into the very fabric of my being. Terrified, I rushed out of the room, the echoes of my footsteps reverberating through the abandoned wing. The once familiar corridor now felt like a labyrinth, the walls closing in around me. Whispers surrounded me, growing louder with each step, as if the very building held the secrets of the past. Panic set in as I realized I was lost, disoriented in the maze of forgotten rooms and desolate hallways. The whispers turned into haunting cries, a symphony of voices that echoed the tragedies of the past. Shadows danced on the walls, taking shape and contorting into grotesque forms. In my desperate attempt to escape, I stumbled upon a room that seemed oddly familiar. The ornate mirror, now cracked and devoid of its supernatural presence, stood in the corner. The ghastly figure was gone, but its haunting gaze lingered in my memory. As I left the abandoned wing, the storm outside had intensified. The rain battered against the windows, as if the very heavens wept for the souls lost within the forgotten corridors. I rejoined my friends in the common room, a hollow shell of the person who had entered the abandoned wing. The dare had gone horribly wrong, leaving me with an indelible mark on my soul. The supernatural whispers, the ghastly figure in the mirror. They haunted my every waking moment. The abandoned wing, once a realm of mystery, became a chilling reminder that some doors should remain closed, and some secrets are best left undisturbed. As the years passed, I graduated from college, but the horrors of that night stayed with me. The abandoned wing was eventually sealed off, deemed unsafe for exploration. The whispers, however, lingered in the recesses of my mind, a haunting testament to the college horror story that went awry. The air was thick with anticipation as our group of friends gathered in the dimly lit dormitory lounge. Rain battered against the windows, creating a rhythmic cadence that mirrored the nervous beating of our hearts. It was one of those stormy nights that felt pregnant with the promise of something otherworldly, a feeling that fueled our desire for a thrill. As tales of the supernatural flowed, the conversation took a daring turn, guided by the impulsive audacity of youth. The topic shifted to the abandoned building on the outskirts of our college campus. Whispers of eerie occurrences and mysterious disappearances had shrouded that forsaken structure for years. It was the kind of place students warned each other about, a forsaken realm better left untouched. In the midst of our laughter and banter, a dare emerged like a phantom from the shadows. We challenged each other to spend the night in that accursed building. Bragging rights and the lure of a spine-chilling story fueled our youthful bravado, and before I could comprehend the consequences, I found myself agreeing to the dare. The rain served as an ominous backdrop as we approached the dilapidated building. Its skeletal frame loomed against the stormy night, windows shattered like the eyes of a vengeful specter. As we crossed the threshold, an immediate chill settled in my bones. The common room camaraderie gave way to an uneasy silence. We ventured deeper into the forsaken corridors, our flashlights casting feeble beams into the shadows. Decay clung to the walls like a spectral tapestry, and the air felt heavy with the weight of forgotten memories. Whispers of a tortured past seemed to echo through the abandoned hallways. Our destination was a room steeped in legend, the epicenter of the building's paranormal tales. The door creaked open, revealing a room frozen in time. Dust danced in the flickering light as we surveyed the dilapidated furniture, remnants of a bygone era. In the corner stood an ancient mirror, its glass cracked with age. The atmosphere shifted from anticipation to trepidation as my gaze met the fractured reflection in the mirror. The room seemed to hold its breath, and the air turned stifling. I saw a figure in the mirror, a spectral silhouette with hollow eyes that seemed to pierce into my very soul. Fear gripped me as the figure in the mirror grinned malevolently. I stumbled backward, colliding with the group in a desperate attempt to escape the haunting gaze. Yet, the reflection remained fixed in the mirror, an ominous presence etched into the room's cursed history. The atmosphere grew even more oppressive as we hastily retreated from the haunted room. Whispers seemed to follow us, disembodied voices recounting tales of tragedy and despair. The once familiar corridors twisted and contorted, transforming into a nightmarish labyrinth that mocked our attempts to escape. Panic set in as the building itself seemed to rebel against our intrusion. Doors slammed shut behind us, trapping us in an ever-shifting maze. Shadows danced on the walls, taking on sinister forms that seemed to reach out for us. The whispers grew louder, their haunting cadence intensifying our disorientation. In our frantic attempt to find an exit, we stumbled upon the same room with the cracked mirror. The ghastly figure was gone, but its haunting gaze lingered in my memory. The room had become a nexus of supernatural dread, a place where the veil between the living and the dead was dangerously thin. As we finally burst out of the forsaken building, gasping for breath in the rain-soaked night, a profound sense of relief washed over us. Yet the horrors witnessed within those cursed walls had left an indelible mark on our souls. In the safety of our dormitory lounge, the storm outside intensified, as if the very heavens wept for the trespasses committed within the forsaken building. The atmosphere in the room had changed, the air heavy with the weight of the supernatural encounter. As the years passed and we graduated, the haunted building was eventually sealed off, deemed unsafe for exploration. Yet the echoes of that night continued to reverberate in our nightmares. The abandoned college building became a cautionary tale, a chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed, and some horrors are better left unencountered. The ghosts of that forsaken night lingered in our memories, forever haunting our collegiate tales with a darkness that defied explanation.